Hello, everybody, and welcome to the Advised Spotlight. I am here today with Emily Michaud from Coast to Coast Mortgages. Hi, Em. How are you today?
Good. Thanks, Vinnie, for having me.
You're so welcome. And before I get started, I just want to let everybody know that I had to have you back because last time we had you on, we had a little bit of a technical difficulty and we didn't get the whole interview. So I had to have you back to give you the time back and talk about your business a little bit.
Thanks. Appreciate that.
Absolutely.
So, yes, I am a commercial-focused loan officer. So that means that I like to write multi-unit buildings like 5 units or above, mixed-use buildings, which means residential and commercial, as well as many fix and flip projects, just larger acquisitions, honestly. What most people are not interested in because it can be too difficult, time-consuming, and or just above their expertise. And I went into that. Actually, when I first started, I kind of knew that I was always going to be looking for more, I guess you could say, because I just really had a knack with what the investors around me were doing. And I've stayed there in that sphere.
Yeah. And, commercial real estate is fun. So it's a lot. It's a very challenging environment, but it also gets your mind thinking in a different way, compared to the residential side. So we talked last time, and you said that you loved to do commercial real estate mortgages because it was easier. So tell us why.
I personally find them a little bit easier because people are ready to go. Something just came up to me today, actually, from an agent that I'm working with on another file, where her customer actually purchased a property in Hartford, and the one next door came on. And she's like, he wants to jump on it right away. So I get on the phone with the borrower. We have an initial phone call. This is a little bit different than a primary residence pre-approval because the qualification isn't necessarily on the person's individual income driven responsibility to pay. So it has to do with, how well the property is going to perform and or do they just have the funds to close. So it's not always going to be about them personally. They're buying in LLCs. And things of that nature, that it's just kind of, if you can pay for it and the property itself is going to get approved, it's going to work.
Yeah.
So it's really just a matter of getting the contract signed, making sure the numbers make sense, making sure the property is in fit condition, to pass all the necessary requirements, and then get moving.
Yeah, and when it comes to commercial, a lot of these borrowers are repeat customers because they open multiple locations, and so they've been through the ringer multiple times, and so they already know what they need to prepare when they come to you and they say, hey, I want to open up this spot and here's all the paperwork you need, and then you just go at it.
Absolutely. People are happy to continue working with anyone who can help them get the job done, right? Sometimes things might come up, sure. Maybe they didn't notice something at first and it comes up in the middle of the deal, no problem, as long as you can pivot. But it's also just guiding people in the right direction. People really do appreciate that because for me, I'm a proponent of making good deals only. If it's a bad deal, I'm going to tell my client it's a bad deal.
Yeah.
I don't need to make the money that badly because why waste the time knowing that it won't fund? That's not going to make anybody happy.
Right.
And then they've put money into appraisals, et cetera, that title work, that at the end of the day, it's like we all need to get to the finish line or nobody gets paid. Nobody makes any money.
Right, exactly. And you don't want to spin your wheels for nothing, because then it's going to make you look bad too.
Yeah, absolutely. That's, a good part about our job as mortgage brokers or loan officers is that we have to know the entire scenario before we bring it to anybody, right? So you're always presenting the deal first. And if the appetite is there, then that's essentially who you're going to send it to. And then you can basically shop the terms. So not every bank is going to say yes. Even if it falls under their guidelines, they just might say no to it. And there's private investing. So
right.
Even when a bank can take on a multi-unit property or something, they might not offer the same terms that a private money person might. So they're going to underwrite it to their terms and offer their specific deal. So I like to always kind of remind people that it's easy to do because for me, I have an abundance of options for the people that are interested in buying these deals and holding them.
Right. And so tell us, why should people come to Emily Michaud from Coast to Coast Mortgages? What reason?
Emily is a relentless human being
Yes,
for what it is that I want to do. People call me all the time because I get super excited about their projects, right? They're like, I have a friend I was just telling you guys earlier about that wants to build A-frame homes in the remote area somewhere, right? And we're going to go and check out some properties in Cornwall and Kent. And not because I'm a real estate agent and I know how, and I'm going to facilitate contracts. It's because I am going to get on the ground with him and I'm going to run all these numbers with him and we're going to make that deal in the field, whether we have a contract in our hand or not, right? But because he wants me to see his vision and how I can potentially sell this to my investors. So it's really a partnership deal. And that's what different about me is because I get invested just as much as the borrower does.
I love that.
We're partners too. They're like, I can't do it without you. I'm like, thank you.
I love that. It's like taking your mortgage officer to buy a house with you to go look at houses.
Yeah, basically. It's like, does this work? No. Okay, then why are we still here? And it's true. And to be honest, when that happens, like you can give someone a pre-approval, right? And yet they'll still want to try to go shopping like out of their price range. And you're like, aren't you listening to the bank? Yeah. And most time they're like, no, I just want what I want. And you're like, okay, well, I'll do my best to negotiate, right? But at the same time, if everybody was just on the same page, like, and you really get close to these customers because it's like, listen, I want to help you too. I want you to make money too. I love your ideas. I love your visions. I want to make them reality, but we have to be realistic on the numbers, right? And everything. And I was like this too because I used to search the internet all the time and just in real estate. I had been writing insurance for a very long time, so I've just been in a lot of databases looking at different stuff. And you might think that everything you find is a good deal. Yeah. And for a long time, you're like, I want to do this, and I want to do this, and I'm going to do this. But it doesn't work out that way.
Right. And, you know what? Another part, too, is that you've been there, so you saw what that site looks like, and you could kind of be an advocate for your client when it comes time to, get down and dirty to get all the paperwork done when, maybe the underwriter says, well, I don't know. But no. I was there. I know that it's going to work, so you could be like a big advocate, a big ally and help with getting that pushed through.
Yeah, I don't like to turn, like I'm not an easily like, oh, okay, well, it's just, we don't have this information, so we're just going to like walk away. No, like I have a purchase in North Carolina right now that the borrower said that it was a 2-family. It's not considered a 2-family by the town standards. There's been no approval for that. But it had been operating as a 2-family, and he wants his financing to be based upon that fact. And it's like, well, we just can't create that for you out of thin air. And we shouldn't have submitted it this way if you knew that actually wasn't the case. And that's okay, but we have to pivot. We have to find another way. A lot of people would just be like, oh, all right, it's done. It's not going to work this way. It's like, no, it can still work, and he still wants the property. It's still under contract, so let's figure this out. No matter how long it takes at this point, right? It's not about, at this point, meeting the closing date. It's keeping the file together. And sometimes borrowers, again, don't do their due diligence and, paint a picture that doesn't exist and then want us to basically pull things out of our hats, but we can't. So we just have to teach them and show them, like, what you want to do is a good idea, but we need to go about it this way.
Right. So that's really why you go with them, correct? I'm just kidding.
I know, right? If I was in North Carolina, I would have been like, bud. Yeah, that's the thing. And you have to always remember, too, they're most likely not always telling you the truth. Like, they're probably leaving something out because they want you to think it's so great and they want you to work with them, and, they don't want you to tell them no. And that's fine, but I will be happy to work anything out. We have to be completely upfront about everything.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, otherwise then we're just backtracking.
Right. And before we wrap up, tell everybody, how do we get a hold of you if we want to get a commercial loan?
Sure. So you can contact me on Instagram, mortgagechick_CT, or on Facebook, which is Michaud Emily. I like to do it backwards because, I'm an individual. Or by cell phone, 860-940-8659.
Awesome. Em, it was so great to have you back. I can't wait to do another one with you. This is great.
So much.
So, guys, we'll talk soon, and have a good day.